Hey guys, welcome back to Scanning the Mind. One of the questions we frequently get asked is which medical school should I go to, or which medical school is the best?
Yeah.
So we thought we'd make a video about it to explain to you guys why you shouldn't stress about it and why it doesn't matter as much as you might think.
So one of the big differences between medicine and other degrees such as law or engineering is that while these degrees have hundreds, if not thousands of employers waiting to snap up the best candidates, medicine only really has the NHS. Now, for better or for worse, the NHS doesn't really care where you've gone to university. All they care about is that you have your medical degree and you haven't completely messed up the SJT.
Now, we're not saying that that is an ideal situation to have, but that's the situation that we have got and that's what we have to deal with. I actually disagree with that for a few reasons which we won't go into, but that's setup we have to deal with in this country. Now, there are some caveats where the medical school might make a difference. For example, if you're interested in research and you want to be an academic doctor, and you know that from the age of 18, then some universities do have a better infrastructure and better setup for research than others. If you just want to be a doctor, by and large, it's not going to make a massive difference.
Yeah.
So when you apply to medical school, you get 4 choices you can put in. So what we'd recommend is not to apply to more than one university which has grades which are greater than your predicted grades, and try to apply to one university which has slightly lower grades than you think you'll achieve, just in case you slip up.
So for example, when I was applying to medical school, pretty much all the universities required 3 A's as their required grades. A-stars had only just come out at this point. So what I did was I applied for one university which required 2 A's and a B, just as a backup, just in case I slipped up on one of my exams, so I had it there just in case.
Which university was that?
Sheffield.
That's quite good uni as well, actually.
Yeah, that's not bad. 2 A's and a B.
Oh, okay. The next thing you need to look at are the admission tests required to get in. So the 2 tests that we're talking about are the UK CAT, which is now called the UCAT, I'm told, and the BMAT. Now, while you could apply to all 4 universities which require the same test, in our opinion, that'd be foolish.
Yeah.
One huge difference between the tests is that with the UCAT, you get your results before the UCAT deadline, so before you apply. While with the BMAT, you don't know how you've done on it until after the application date is closed.
Yeah. Now, this is an absolute game changer, because you'll know exactly how well you've done on the UCAT before you even pick your medical schools that you're going to apply for. So go out there, get it done, smash it, and then have a think about which universities you want to apply to.
So for example, if you do really well on the UCAT, it'd be quite foolish to apply to predominantly BMAT universities. Yeah. Now, on the other hand, if you end up for whatever reason not doing as well as you'd hoped on the UCAT, you might want to apply to some more BMAT universities because you might end up doing quite well on that.
Yeah. So now some people will apply for 4 UCAT universities or 4 BMAT universities. However, we just think this is a bit risky and you're just putting all of your eggs in the one admission test basket.
But if you back yourself, go for it.
So hopefully by now you've got some sort of shortlist of universities that you want to apply to. Now this is where it becomes a bit more difficult because they're kind of soft factors which will decide between the remaining ones. 1, style of campus. 2, the course structure. And 3, whether you want to do an intercalated BSc or not.
So the first thing to consider, like Sanchit said, is this type of campus. The main 2 styles of universities are a campus, so what you'd imagine like an American college to be like. Yeah. You're not in a big city or a town. The university is just built on a separate campus, and everyone there is a student. You don't really meet other people apart from maybe the lecturers. And the other type of university is the type me and Sanchit went to, which is in the city. So Newcastle, Imperial are both in cities. Imperial obviously in London, Newcastle obviously in Newcastle. I personally prefer these type of universities, just because you kind of grow up with the city. Our course is quite long, so over the course of 6 years, you can kind of grow up with the city. So the things you want to do in your first year are obviously going to be quite different to things you want to do in your 6th year.
Yeah.
So your hobbies, where you go out, where you go to eat, all that kind of stuff. Whereas on a campus, even in your 6th year, you're just there mingling with 18-year-olds who are in their first year freshers. Which some people might like, but for me, I prefer being in a city sort of type of university.
Even with this point, I think that you might prefer one style over the other, but I think everyone will enjoy whatever style they end up with anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Don't worry too much. So another thing to think about is the course structure. Now, what we mean by this is whether it's a PBL course, a traditional course, or one of the newer integrated courses. This will really change your experience at university depending on how you learn best. So PBL courses are very kind of low on contact hours. You're going in, meeting groups of other students and kind of teaching each other stuff, doing a lot of your own independent work at home. The complete opposite to this are the traditional courses, where it's a lot of contact hours, lots and lots of lectures, lots of assessments and things like that. The newer courses tend to be a bit more integrated, where you have a bit of a mix of the group work and the contact hours with the lectures.
So like Sanchit said, it will really change your experience of university. So for example, Imperial, I believe, is a traditional course.
Traditional, kind of edging towards integrated, I think.
So that's kind of like Newcastle. So we had not 9 to 5 lectures, but most days we had some lectures at least half the day, and then either group work in the afternoon or self-study. Whereas I know people went to Manchester, for example. This might have changed now, but at least 5 years ago, they were left to their own devices a lot, which I know some people use that time very wisely and were studying, doing the actual PBL work beforehand. And I definitely know some people who, let's just say, slacked a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, it depends what you want. It depends how you learn, and depends how much you trust yourself, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, you are 18, 19, so you are quite young to be kind of taking all the responsibility for your learning, so I don't think it's something I would have done very well at.
Oh, mate. If I was 18 and they just said, here, I'll see you every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You're not seeing me every 3 weeks. The final thing to consider, which I suppose isn't really that big a deal, is intercalation. They've changed things recently where I believe nowadays, or in the upcoming future, you're not going to get extra points on your foundation year applications for intercalation. But some people still want to do it, especially if you have an interest in research. There's 2 types of courses in terms of intercalation. There's medical courses where it's mandatory, and there's medical courses where it's optional. I suppose the benefit of it being optional is if you're not sure from the outset, which why would you be? You can choose at the time. The benefit of it being mandatory is your whole year group stays together. I intercalated at Newcastle, and a fair few of us intercalated out of 400, maybe 40 or 50, but that was still the vast majority of my year just gone.
Yeah.
And then when you drop back down into final year, you just don't know anyone.
Yeah. For us, it was mandatory, so our whole year intercalated for our 4th year. So everyone goes off and then comes back again for 5th year.
That's quite
So it was nice in the sense that your years stayed together.
Yeah. I suppose the plus side of dropping down was I got to meet some new people.
Yeah.
But equally, in final year, we had our finals then, so everyone was just focused on passing finals rather than making friends.
So ultimately, what we've both realised is that it doesn't really matter too much where you go to medical school. At the end of the day, you'll end up with equivalent degrees, and no one really cares too much where you've been to uni once you start working. None of the patients are going to be asking, which university did you go to?
I've never once seen a fellow doctor at work doing something important and thought, I wonder where he went to medical school. That's never once crossed my mind. It's maybe crossed my mind when I see them doing dodgy things. That's when it crosses my mind. But if somebody's a good doctor, it doesn't ever cross my mind.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what you will remember from medical school is the friends you make and the experiences you had together. So don't stress, apply to your favourites, and wherever you end up, you'll have a great time.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you've liked the video, drop a comment down below and subscribe to our channel. If you've got any other ideas for videos or you want us to make a video on a certain topic, let us know. And we'll see you next time.